Just a couple updates. There's going to be 4 freshmen that make the trip that haven't played yet, but possibility of getting in this weekend with Vince Beagle, Reggie Mitchell, Dan Volts, and Reggie Love. Also today, actually yesterday, Vontae Jackson had surgery. He actually tore his ACL on his other knee, went in and had surgery, kind of waited to get through all that. He is recovering, everything felt great there. He's obviously been through one already, so the one benefit he has is experience. There really shouldn't be any complications other than he got the redshirt year this year and be back with us in the spring. And then Cody Byers, unfortunately, is going to take a medical. He had a pretty severe concussion last year. It took him a while to come back from it, and then basically in one of his first couple practices back with us full pads in the fall, had another concussion. So just in talking with the doctors and everything, he's going to take a medical and discontinue his playing career here at Wisconsin. So other than that, we're pretty healthy. Should have everybody who was with us last week out to Corvallis. Like the way the guys have gone about it this weekend. We don't have to tell anybody how good Oregon State is. Our kids know it. You could see the film from a year ago get steadily better in every game. So the benefit of us playing, obviously we got to play better than we were a week ago. I think when you see the big jump from first game to second game, a lot of times it's your younger players, and we had a significant number of those guys. We had 7 guys start offense and defense who had never started before, and a number of players on special teams. So they'll get that experience, and then obviously very excited to get a chance to play on the road and see what kind of players we have on in an environment like that.
Bret, when they came here last year, their freshman tailback who had a big game in the opener didn't play, and they weren't settled at quarterback.
Right.
They're better at tailback now and better at quarterback. Because of those 2 factors alone, do you think they're going to be a better opponent?
I know they're going to be a better opponent. They played 24 players last year for the first time. That were first-year players. 10 of those guys were true freshmen. So as of right now, you got to believe what you saw in that last couple games. I mean, they were right there, play for play with Oregon. They obviously won 3 games down the stretch. I believe they beat Arizona, they beat Washington State, and somebody else. And any time you play out there, I know I came across one stat last year when I started researching them. They were 5-5 against the last top 20 teams that have come into their stadium out there. So we know we're going to get a tremendous challenge.
I'm sure you heard that they got their hands on some of the film.
Yeah, I knew they were going to get on it. I just tried to make it difficult. I don't understand why this is even an issue. The definition of a film exchange is you exchange film. They had nothing to exchange.
How does that, for the uninitiated, how does that happen? I mean, who could have given it to them?
I don't know. It wasn't anybody from the Big Ten. So I don't know how that happened.
Bret, Vontae took his first ACL hard. How did he react with this one?
It was hard. It was a very emotional time. He knew he did it right away. For those of you that never popped an ACL, I popped 2 of them. You know. So he was running down. He'd been looking really good. He was on scout cover team on a punt team, and the ball was going outside of him, and he just tried to plant. It was really a non-contact deal. He was very emotional. Good news is his dad came up that night. We kind of calmed him down a little bit, and then next day, and it just happened, basically a week ago. So he's a real light sweller, which is a positive thing. I saw him this morning. He came over, and I was with him for a good 15 minutes down there this morning. He's really upbeat, and I said the good news is you've done this already. So you got positive reinforcement as far as you can get yourself back.
Did you have to dust off that I've torn 2 ACL story to him?
What I wanted to stress to him, Kurt went up to him right away. Kurt's had 3. Nick Hill has had 2. And I think both of those guys were on the same knee. This is 2 different knees. I mean, we all know there's plenty of guys that have played, and when we're playing with Mike Taylor, there's a number of guys on our team right now that have had a torn ACL, and the benefit is both of these are on different knees. It's not on the same knee that's been traumatized.
I know you can't talk about specific recruits, but because of his injury, does this affect maybe recruiting at the tailback position for the next year?
No. We're pretty steadfast on what we do at the running back. We take 1 in a class, and nothing's really going to change off that.
Coach Riley's been at Oregon State for 12 years. What does that kind of job security mean for people in your profession?
Well, I think you're thankful as a head coach anytime you feel that sense of calmness around you, and he's obviously been very, very gifted there. To come back twice, I think that's usually a pretty good sign that they like you. He's been a very successful coach, not only at the college level but the pro level, and Mike's a really good football mind. I think that's a fun part to be around.
Is French still going to handle both of you?
Yep. Kyle will start off. Actually, both of them hit the ball really well this week, so it'll be Jack's literally right there. Charlie and I discussed playing him in the 3rd and 4th quarter last week, so I would expect the only thing we don't know out there is a little bit of uncertainty with the wind.
Get the sense Melvin's still pretty upbeat this week.
He was awesome. We tried to get the ball in his hands with a kickoff return. just because of the way the thing, and plus we wanted to work Monty pretty heavily, which we obviously did, and try to get those other guys involved. But I'm really happy where Melvin's at. He's had a great week of practice. Today he was very explosive. I want to get him involved early.
What kind of an environment do you expect on Corvallis?
It'll be a frenzy. They've made reference several times, not only their coaches but their players, that it's one of the largest or biggest games, non-conference schedule since they've been there. I think the last time a Big Ten team there was 1978. I was 8, so I know our kids don't remember that. But the thing that I think our kids have been preparing with crowd noise and everything this week, they've been embracing the opportunity to go play on the road.
Any idea how many fans you guys will?
No, I just had a lot of people. I was at a Booster Club meeting last night, and they asked how many people are going. There must have been 30 or 40 hands raised. So, you know, I've been getting a lot of requests for tickets, so I think we'll have a good showing out there.
Does the longer flight affect you guys at all?
Well, it is. It's a long flight. It's a 4-hour flight. Obviously, you're changing two time zones. When we lay down to go to bed, or when the bed check is tomorrow night, it'll be really equivalent to midnight here, even though it's 10 o'clock out there. But our kids usually handle that thing pretty good. But this is for obviously a couple guys were on a trip to UNLV a couple years ago. But for the new guys, anybody that's been in the program 2 years, this will be the furthest flight for a one-game turnaround.
So you're optimistic that Vontae will be available in the spring?
He won't be full go in the spring. I think, yeah.
Something.
I think an ACL, you can just pretty much say 6 months, and he should be getting back to movement and doing all that stuff. He probably won't be full go, full contact till the fall.
Are you going to watch any of Pittsburgh, or not Pittsburgh, Paul Chris tonight?
I didn't even, is that tonight's game?
Yeah.
Is that Thursday? I honestly didn't know. When you're here, you kind of just, who they playing?
Cincinnati. I
Oh,
think.
yeah. I usually do watch the Thursday night. I'm obviously, I love Pitt and Paul and all that goes into it, but Thursday night is kind of a fun night for coaches. It's my family night for all of our coaches. They get out of here as soon as we're done. Get a chance to go home, and I think all of us enjoy watching those Thursday night games.
What about Friday? Do you start doing some advance
Well,
work on Utah State?
I do know, because the only thing is, it sounds silly, but the only reason I know is because on Friday night on our itinerary we put what games are out there,
Okay.
and I know Utah State's playing, but we'll probably catch the tail end of it because it's while we're traveling and while we're getting situated. But I know Friday night games. I usually just don't know. Usually my wife tells me what's on because she's watching it already.
Just to clarify, is Cody Byers done for the year, or is it
No,
gonna
I'm
be
sorry.
career-ending?
I thought I was pretty. He's taking a medical, which means he's going to be involved. We flew him home last week. He sat down and talked to his parents. He comes from a great high school program, so we want to make sure we did it the right way. And one thing the NCAA has really come a long way is helping kids in difficult situations. And you know, I was mad because some of you guys inferred that he had something to do with all that stuff that was going on back, you know, several weeks ago, and that was just bad timing. Cody, he's strictly been dealing with a medical issue that has nothing related to anything. Cody's a great kid. Going to see him get his degree here. I told him to take some time and just get away from what we're doing right now. Some kids want to hop right into it. Jordan Cahoot, he's out there in the middle of it, but Cody kind of wanted to take a step back. I think this was a very difficult thing for him personally, so he's going to probably come back and join us some role as a coach here down the line.